Glitterbrains is recorded on Wurundjeri land, and this land was stolen, and I would like to pay my respects to the elders, both past, present and emerging, and sovereignty was never ceded. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Hibak's channel. Unmasking and unmasking your autism or your ADHD is not just being yourself. It is a lot more complicated than that. Masking is when autistic people or neurodivergent people often can be unconsciously or automatically or suppress parts of themselves to appear more neurotypical or appeal to the society norms and appear more socially acceptable. It can be seen as camouflaging or compensating as well, and it can look like mimicking facial expressions. If you are a person that finds eye contact very uncomfortable, masking can look like you forcing yourself to make eye contact because that's what people do around you, or that's what you were told, or copying other people's tone of voice, or body language, or even pushing down your natural stems. You're holding your body still, not allowing your fingers to dance and not letting your body rock when it naturally does that, and not fidgeting or repeating words to avoid standing out as well, like echolalia. But it's really tricky when the world tells you to be yourself, and there's that you're told, be yourself. Come on, guys, be yourself. Be authentic. When the world punishes you when you are yourself, it's really hard. And I do believe that masking it's terrible at the fact that we have to do that. And I think people often forget to understand the nuance with why people mask and what masking actually does, because masking can be safety for people who are marginalized or racially come from culturally diverse communities as well. And I think be yourself is really cute until when neurotypical people say be yourself, but sometimes mean be quirky in a way that's actually acceptable. Don't be too quirky. Don't be quirky, but don't be still be palatable, still be yourself in a way that we can still accept you, but don't do those weird, gross things that you do that make you really stand out and make other people uncomfortable. Don't do that, but do the other cute things. And for autistic folks from racially or culturally marginalized backgrounds, unmasking can come with real risks. For darker skinned folks, not making eye contact, stimming in public, or having a flat affect, which means having little to no facial expressions, it can be read as rude or threatening or not abiding by the rules or being unsafe or being scary or, oh my God, someone's acting really strange. I'm really scared. There's a black man acting really strange. I'm going to call the police because they're scaring me and they're scaring my children. That's a real danger. Black people or people who are from culturally diverse populations don't have the luxury to just be themselves and be quirky. There are so many autistic people who have died at the hands of police that have been criminalized because of being due to their autistic nature. They weren't complying with police orders, or they were acting threatening in quotation marks. And people mask, and people are taught to mask because to be safe and to be able to be palatable to society. Because unfortunately, this is not the la-la rainbow land that you think it is, because the world is prejudiced, discriminatory, and we can't afford the same luxury that you have. Many people that are neurodivergent have been punished for being too much, being too quiet, or too intense. So we learn to be observers, watching what other people did, mirroring them, guessing the right response. And it works on the surface. People might say we're friendly, bubbly, but underneath we're exhausted. Masking comes with real cognitive costs. It takes up so much cognitive capacity, takes up so much spoons in your brain, and it takes up so much capacity because you are just so on when other people can just relax and be themselves. And sometimes you're doing it so much that you don't even know what the real you is. How to actually distinguish the fact between who's me and who's the performance. And I think it's interesting and important to bring up interoception. So, because when you're masking so much, you can literally forget and it can impact your body signals. And interoception is part of the senses, which is one of the 8 senses that we have. And it's the ability that, so basically interoception is how the brain knows what your body's trying to tell you. So, for example, knowing when you need to go to the toilet, knowing when you're tired, knowing when you're sleepy, knowing when you are hungry, you anxious. And for many autistic people, that signal can become really blurry, and a lot of autistic people actually struggle with interoception. And a lot of the times we don't even notice when we're stressed or tired because the signals are kind of lost along the way of getting up to our brain. And there's also a lot of autistic people struggle with alexithymia, which is the understanding and identifying emotions, which is linked to interoception. And alexithymia is the difficulty in identifying and describing your own emotions, which when you do have difficulties with interoception, you're pretty much most likely experiencing alexithymia, which is the difficulty in identifying and describing your own emotions. So knowing when something feels off, or when you are anxious, or when you're sad, or when you're angry, and you just go from 0 to 100 really quick. I deal with this a lot in my practice. A lot of clients that I see, children and adults, really struggle with understanding their emotions and when are they feeling their emotions. And then they realize when they're feeling those emotions, when they're already at the very end and they're already feeling those emotions and things are really bad, or they're in a meltdown, or they're in a shutdown. And that's why I get lots of parents that tell me, oh my God, my child goes from 0 to 100 really quickly. Oh my God, they don't even know their warning signs. And I think especially when you're masking, you're directing your focus outwards, reading other people's emotions, matching their tone, copying what other people are doing. And that creates so much cognitive load. Your brain is working overtime. It does not have any time to look inwards, and you miss signals. And it's really hard to tune into yourself. And I think I read this study shared that it was a qualitative study, and this person said, I was so focused on everyone else, I didn't even realize I was shutting down. And when you say things like, just be yourself, that's a fantasy. You're saying it like it's really easy. A lot of people online or act like unmasking is like a light switch. I'm just going to switch it off. When you have years building and acting and performing, it's very hard to turn that off. And it's like you're completely not acknowledging the process of rebuilding a relationship with yourself, actually understanding yourself. And I think there is beauty in unmasking, and I think they're not completely wrong in promoting that, but promoting that with no caveat or no real understanding of the risks with what you're actually promoting can be really hard. And if you're saying this in clinical settings or being a coach as well, you have to understand the risk of unmasking. But unmasking is beautiful as well. I've had my own process of unmasking, but it took some time for me to actually learn what was I masking and what unmasking looks like for me. For years, I was seen as such an extrovert, but then I realized I'm actually an introvert. And I've known that deep down, but when you're masking, it's like you're in a state of performance that you don't actually realize, oh, hang on, I actually really like being alone. This is really nice to me. I like being like with my thoughts and doing things and reading and engaging in my hobbies and my special interests and learning about your stims and needing fidgets. I love my fidgets. I always have them. And, unmasking can look like, it's not like a big dramatic reveal though. It's not like, whoosh, I'm going to take off my mask now. Guys, I've taken off my mask. I am myself now. It doesn't happen like that. It's sometimes really quiet and it's really subtle, and it can start internally as well. Letting yourself stim without hiding it, or leaving a social event early when you realize your body's a bit done. That's still a bit hard for me. Wearing your noise cancelling headphones as well, or saying no to phone calls, or eating the same thing constantly. I eat the same thing every single day except dinner, because dinner I eat with my partner, so obviously he would not be into that. But my lunch and my breakfasts are the same. So my lunch is like a year. I've been going at it for a year and a half, and I'm tired of answering what I'm having for lunch. Please stop asking me that. Please. For the sake of me and for the sake of you. You will get the same answer every single time. Please stop asking me. And my breakfast as well. It's the same. Every single time, it's the same without a doubt. There's no shame in having to mask. There's no shame in saying, oh, I have to mask. There's no shame in that, because sometimes you just have to do that to stay safe. It's a decision sometimes. And unmasking and learning to unmask actually includes a decision to mask. Because sometimes you're like, oh, I do need a mask. I got to. Because you need to stay safe. Maybe you're in an unsafe situation and you need to morph into other people because you need to keep your job, or you are being questioned by authority, or you're navigating a family event without getting questioned or being punished for it. And it's not you being fake. You're staying true to yourself by protecting yourself. Because the world isn't safe yet. And it's not safe enough for us to unmask fully. It isn't. Especially for racialized, disabled, or anyone who had their behavior pathologized or criminalized before. It's not. So say things wisely. Unmasking is not just being yourself.